What's up, YouTube? I'm very excited to do today's video because my great-great-grandfather was a general in the Spanish Civil War, which is going to be exactly the topic we're going to be covering today. So, one quick thing I just wanted to say before we start is that I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but in my last video, I held the microphone way too close to my mouth, and it ended up kind of sounding pretty dumb. So, please forgive me for that. I'm not going to do that anymore. But, yeah, it was my first video, so something always goes wrong in the first video. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Let's just get right into the video. In 1931, the Great Depression was hitting Spain quite hard. And in the north of Spain, communists became very active. This communist activity was eventually suppressed by the Spanish army. By 1936, Spain was extremely divided, with anarchists, communists, Catholic conservatives, monarchists, and fascists all clamoring for power. And of course, let's not forget the separatist movements in the Basque and Catalonian regions of Spain. In 1936, an election was won by the left-wing coalition in Spain. As a result, the army, which was much more conservative, began planning a revolt. The military rebellion began on July 18th. Once the rebellion began, they were met by some resistance from the Spanish people, who were much more left-wing than the military. Then, José Sanjurjo, a close friend of my great-great-grandfather's, died in a plane crash. Now, it's important to know that Sanjurjo was the leader of the resistance against the leftist government. So, to fill his shoes, Francisco Franco, a general in the Spanish army, who was notable for his campaigns in Morocco, ended up taking leadership of the nationalists, as they were now called. His image is currently on your computer screen, by the way. That is not José Sanjurjo, that was Francisco Franco, just to clear that up. And spoiler alert, he ends up becoming dictator of Spain. The leftist navy kept Franco trapped in Spanish Morocco, but Italian and German pilots took care of that. Hitler, Mussolini, and Salazar all sent aid to the nationalists, although Franco wasn't nearly as radical and anti-Semitic as Hitler was. Hitler saw the war as a testing ground for German equipment. He also didn't like communists, and neither did Franco. On the other hand, the leftists, which were now called the Republicans, by the way, received some aid from the USSR and Mexico. The nationalists controlled Morocco and most of the western-facing parts of Spain. They controlled all the red stuff on this map. The Republicans still held the capital and most of the coast, and also the Basque regions as well. The nationalists began an attack on Madrid, but the Republicans were able to successfully defend the capital against their enemies. In March, the nationalists and their Italian allies suffered a defeat at Guadalajara, but it wasn't all losses for the nationalist side, actually. Several successful campaigns resulted in nationalist control over Toledo, Granada, and Córdoba, and their surrounding areas. As you can see, the nationalists seem to be making a quick comeback. The tragic bombings of Guernica by German bombers soon followed, gaining Franco several regions of northern Spain. Now Franco had the majority of the nation, but on the Republican side, fighting began within the force, leading to instability within the Republicans. Things weren't looking too good for the left. In March of 1938, the nationalists pushed east toward the Mediterranean, disconnecting the Republican territories and cutting them in two. On April 1st, 1939, the war ended. In that same year, World War II would start. And no, it wasn't an April Fool's joke. By the way, when World War II was going on, Hitler wanted Franco to join the Axis powers so he could gain access to Gibraltar, having Franco invade it. But Franco refused to enter the war. So later on, Hitler said he would rather have all of his teeth pulled out than talk to Franco again. Thanks for watching. World War II is coming up next.